And many schools throughout the Chicago area increasing security after threats of violence seen on TikTok. We want to have a deeper conversation about this, how to talk to our kids about these threats of school shootings. Joining us now, Dr. Anna Belmonte, the department chair and assistant professor at the Chicago School of Professional Psychology. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So this TikTok threat has gone all around. It was deemed not credible. Still, many schools sent out messages to parents. I know we got one in our family, and again last night at the dinner table talking to a nervous kid about going to school today. So we wanted to bring you in about how to have that conversation. So what do you recommend? It's a tough talk to have with your kid.
Definitely a very difficult talk, and it's one I don't think any parent really wants to have with their kid, but the times are that these talks must happen. And I think with different ages, there's different opportunities to have discussions with kids. Kids on the younger side might not be as aware of what's going on. They might not have access to social media, that sort of thing. And so with those kids, you want to provide support and just love and care, letting them know that you are there to support them and keep them safe. Teachers are there, police are there to keep them safe from these sorts of events. And also just be on the lookout for how those kids might express things differently, because they're not as apt to talk about their feelings. They might not have those skills yet.
And how about older kids?
Yes, adolescents, those kids, sometimes they just don't want to talk at all, but it's always great to have that opportunity to talk. Let the kids come to you or provide those opportunities to talk to teenagers. First, get a sense of maybe what they know, what have they heard, what have they seen, and with those older teens or adolescents, also keep in mind that they might want to just take a step back and not talk right away, or they might want alternative sources to talk to. So maybe be looking for somebody like another trusted adult, a counselor, a teacher for them to talk to as well.
When you talk about those older teens, for instance, I have a 15-year-old, they see and they hear a lot. And one of the things that they see are these fake things that are going around on TikTok or other social media about school shootings. And it seems to keep happening. So how do we address that? I know I've struggled with trying to point out, what's credible and what's not, and how this just spreads so quickly.
I think it's a great conversation to have with teens, especially about a responsible social media use. These things can get out of hand very quickly on social media. Encouraging teenagers not to repost things that are threatening in nature, or to alert people such as yourself as parents, teachers, trusted adults, say something if they see something right away.
Dr. Belmonte, one more question for you. What kinds of effects are these situations, even if they don't materialize into an actual shooting, although we're coming off the heels of that Michigan shooting? What kinds of impacts are you seeing from a psychological perspective on kids' mental health?
Mm-hmm. Well, we've just had a report that came out recently saying that nationally we're at a crisis point for youth mental health concerns. And so this, unfortunately, again, is not going away. And coupled with the pandemic, availability for mental health professionals are not as present as there used to be. And so with kids, we want to be on the lookout for if they're presenting with any difficulties in sleep or appetite, if they're withdrawing. For young kids, they might complain about somatic symptoms like stomach aches, headaches, and that might be a parent's signal to get them to a provider, a mental health clinician, see their family doctor, whoever that the family feels comfortable reaching out to get additional support.
It is just unfortunate that this is the kind of place that we live in now, where we're talking about this a lot. We thank you for being here to help us through it, Dr. Belmonte. Thanks for the time.